everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Shared Screens Podcast. I'm your host today, Alec Babko, and I'm joined by Austin and Leanne. How you guys doing today?
I'm fantastic. Happy to be here.
Yeah, we're vibing. The cops were here earlier. It's been a day.
Oh.
I live above a college couple. And they sometimes get
you can just leave it at that.
Yeah. Essentially. But yeah, they got in a very loud fight and a neighbor heard a dish break. And so the cops came. And he was like, I come home from the gym and I'm like not really paying attention. I'm looking at my phone. And all I hear is, I swear we just dropped the dish. The dish was not thrown. And I look up and there are these 3 cops standing around this one kid. I was like, I'm going upstairs. I don't know what's happening here. I don't want to know. I'm going upstairs.
Is this like a repeat offender though? Do you hear them often?
Not fight. They're just, I'm about to sound ancient. They play their music too loud way too late at night. I can't. Like they play very, very loud house music at 10:30 at night on a Sunday, and it's like, this is cool that you don't have classes tomorrow, but I have to go to work. I need to sleep. Yeah. And I feel like such an old man.
No, I get it. So they just sound like loud people in general.
Yeah, they're just yeah. It gets into that their apartment always smells like weed. It's a time.
Oh, I mean that's a shock to no one. My wife says I'm a loud person. I just genuinely I try to one up people naturally. I don't think about it. I just try to get louder than everyone else. That's just how I communicate. And then the first time she went to one of my family gatherings with my family, she's like, I understand.
It's like, oh,
I get it. And the thing is, she told me, she's like, you're one of the leveled out people in this group. I thought you were bad. Holy crap. The rest of my family is just that's just how we communicate. We just essentially scream, I guess. I didn't know that, but here we are.
No, I love that kind of shit because truly that's my parents' marriage. Is my dad is from this very, very quiet family. My mom is stereotypical small town Irish Catholic. They all scream. And he met my mom and he says all these great things about how my mom expressed love and shit. He was like, she made me feel like I wanted to be around. And he goes, but then I thought she was a little loud. I thought she yelled a lot. And then I met her family and I was like, oh God.
All y'all just loud. All right, cool.
What I love, and it's I love it because if it ever happened to me, I would not love it. And if it ever happened to you or your wife, I would not love it. But my mom's family has a tendency to ask other people in the room while you're arguing what their opinion is. Ooh. So my grandparents would be fighting and my grandfather would be like, Andy, what do you think? My kid's like, I don't know. No, I don't want this.
Yeah, I'd be like, I think this is none of my business. All right, y'all do whatever you want, but I had nothing to do with it. All right, zilch.
Oh God, I love meeting people's families.
Or the time where my grandpa and I were talking, and it's this is one of those times where I can see I have a pretty, kind of a softer voice. So he has a hard time hearing me. And he and I, at one point, there's a party, there other people talking around us. He and I actually had just a nice conversation. And it was one of those oh, this is actually really cool. This doesn't happen all that often, without somebody else being around to kind of tell him or yelling into his ear, because he has very hard hearing loss in one of his ears.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it was one of those moments where he was talking about I can't remember what topic came up, but it was one of those things of me being millennial and that kind of thing. I'm just shaking my head, yeah, I'm not quite agreeing with the opinion, but I'm just I'm enjoying this conversation.
Yeah. Once they hit a certain age, it's just you know what, it's fine.
We're just having this conversation. When you have less time left on this earth than you do whatever. Stop arguing. If they smoke, let them smoke. If they drink too much, let them drink too much. If they want to talk about random shit, let them talk about random shit. Who gives a crap at this point?
Yeah, I completely agree. My only crux to that is if you're around children, just die down a bit.
Yeah,
there's a lot of children in my family, and there's some topics that get brought up sometimes. I'm just hey kid, let's go play outside. I'm gonna corral everyone and go play on.
And don't smoke around children. Anything. Don't smoke around. Secondhand smoke is bad for children.
A lot of people in my family have a vape. I'll just put it that way. I do not. All right.
I don't know how I'd be able to handle that. Maybe this is because there aren't a lot of men in my family. I have a very small family. There are almost no men in it.
I know a lot
Uh,
of females that vape. Just for the record, you're being sexist, all right? I'm throwing it out there.
I don't like, maybe it's just, I don't know. Maybe I think what it is that like our age group, it's mostly girls,
Sure.
and we're all a little too old to have been into vaping.
That's fair.
Because my youngest cousin is 5 years younger than me, so she's about to graduate college. Like, she's the only one that was like right in that we're vaping thing. My sister, who's 5 years older than me, was well out of school when vaping became a thing. I had to explain vaping to her. Much in the same way I have to explain Twitter to her. I
Oh,
don't know if
no.
you guys have adults in your life that are about 5 years older than you, or like 5 to like 8-ish or so, but they had the internet, but not for long enough for any of them to be on Twitter or like use Twitter the way like we use Twitter. So it's like our parents are all on Facebook. Some have made it to Instagram. We all deal. If you're Jordan, his mother has also made it to Snapchat. And like when that happened in college, Jesus Christ, I was like, your life is over.
Yeah.
Because that was before Snapchat had like the close friends stories. Oh God. Oh, it was great when his entire family followed him. Yeah.
That's awful. That's awful.
Um,
Yeah. I don't think I know a single family member that has Twitter. Now that I think about it, now that you
yeah.
bring it up, I don't think I know it. And if they
It's
have it, they don't use it.
my younger cousins all have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, just like I do, but my older cousins don't, who are closer in age to my sister than me, like they don't have it. Like it's none of her friends really use Twitter. Like they have Facebook and Instagram, and that's like it. It fascinates me that Twitter never like took off. Like there are people in that age group on Twitter, but like not the way, not the chronically online way I think we all are.
To be fair, I didn't use Twitter right away either. Like it took me a while
Same.
to jump on the Twitter train of sorts. I don't know when I started, but it was like I think I made a Twitter to like start following kind of funny stuff. I think that's genuinely well, okay. I probably had made a Twitter before then, but I think I started using it to like follow kind of funny, but I could be wrong.
I hated social media until I went to college.
Mhm.
Like I had Instagram and Facebook, but I didn't really use them. I did not enjoy using them. And I had a Twitter, but it wasn't until college that it actually became of value to me.
Mhm.
And now it's like until recently one of the main apps I used on my phone. Although now I kind of hate using social media again, but that's just because it's my job now. So it's like at the end of the day, I'm not ready to like. I don't want to open Facebook.
That checks out. Yeah, I only use Twitter. I have a Facebook, but the only thing I use that for is to communicate with my mom from time to time, and that's it. That's it.
I haven't used Facebook in forever. Like I'm pretty much just on Twitter for the most part. I can't remember the last time I posted on Instagram.
Same. Yeah, I have an Instagram, but I don't use it.
Yeah, I use my Instagram more than my Facebook, but the Instagram algorithm also kind of sucks. The last time I posted on my Facebook that wasn't like an Instagram thing, it was an actual post, was when my mom told me to post because she wanted to brag about it, told me to post my new job. And she bothered me about it like every day for a week until I did it. That was the last time.
Oh wow.
I'm the worst because like people from college tag me on things on Facebook and I'm like, no, I don't want to engage with this. We're not doing this. And then yeah, Instagram, it's been fucking forever. Remember when social media was fun?
I remember when I probably shouldn't have had a social media, and I was like 11 or whatever
Yeah.
age.
See, that's the thing is like I went to Catholic school. I was sheltered as fuck. I got a Facebook when I was 13, but I did not know the password until I was 16. My mom had to log me in and out of Facebook so that I could only be on it when she knew, and she knew who all of my like she got Facebook to be friends with a majority of my friend group because she didn't get into the like I'm going to request everybody you're friends with at high school because she understood that was fucking weird. But like everything else.
I mean, mine was about the same age, or at kind of 7th, 8th grade, kind of that age range, and Yeah, it was like a Christmas break. I think it was one of those like everybody else kind of had it and like, all right, yep, here we go, made it. And then it was one of those like in the next, I'd say, couple years, the parents did that thing where I was like, oh yeah, we'll make one too, just so you can kind of keep an eye on you.
I I was sheltered from the internet in a sense that I didn't have Wi-Fi growing up at my house. Like, it was just something that my
Hmm.
parents didn't see as like a necessity, and I was like, okay, cool, I'm just screwed. All right.
Well, we didn't have Wi-Fi either. We actually had like a, like most people had a computer room. So like I would have
Uh-huh.
Oh,
to go on the
well,
computer to go on Facebook
I
and
had
until I got
no.
like the iPod Touch or whatever.
Sure, sure. I had no internet at all. And then
Mm.
I
my parents also didn't pay for like a data plan. Like they're just like, you don't need it, and I was like, you can't afford it. That's okay. Like it's all right. I'll live.
To be 110% honest, I don't know if we had Wi-Fi until laptops really got big
Hmm.
and we got smartphones just because yeah, I wouldn't have we had to have though cuz my dad when he worked from home had to work on a laptop. And so he would need Wi-Fi for that. Although I wouldn't put it past my father to hardwire his laptop in when he worked from home.
Hell
But
yeah.
yeah, so we must have. But yeah, we had the same thing where we had like a computer room. Um, and we weren't allowed to get smartphones for like a while.
Oh, same.
I think I was like 15, 16 when I got my first smartphone.
Yep.
I had my first smartphone when I was 16, and well, okay, that's not even true. I had a Razor still, and I had an
Oh
iPod
yeah.
Touch. So like my smartphone was my half Razor, and then I'd use my iPod Touch for whatever.
Yep.
But yeah, that was my smartphone before
Yeah.
smartphones, I guess.
I think my very first smartphone, I think, was the iPhone 4, I want to say.
That was mine too. Yeah.
And then, yeah, when I got to college and like actually was able to like do research and not just be like, hey, iPhone's the best kind of thing. Like,
Hmm.
that's when I made the jump over to Android
Woo,
and have not looked back
woo.
because did not want to be in that Apple ecosystem.
And
I am a
actually,
slave to that Apple ecosystem. In this shot, we have seen my phone, my Apple Watch. Behind me is my iPad, and my Mac is over. I am a slave to that Apple
See, I
ecosystem.
got out before I could become a slave.
This is the problem, though. I just like everything. Like, I can access shit from my iPad and my phone on my Mac. I love
I
that.
can
I
too. It's
love.
called Google Drive.
Yeah, but
Google
it
me.
stresses me out that it's a separate.
no,
I am truly so lazy and so dumb when it comes to technology.
I totally understand. Like if you're ingrained in an ecosystem and you don't have to leave, then don't.
Right.
I get that. Like I wouldn't be like where you are right now and be like, I'm gonna switch to Android. Like that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, no.
I
Where you
will
are now. Yeah.
say, I will say, I don't own AirPods for some reason. I'm really against it and won't buy them. I have Raycon earbuds. These are Raycon headphones. They're all
Mhm.
I'll use. And like one of my friends was like, "Why don't you use your tax money to buy you AirPods?" I'm like, I don't know because for some reason I just like I can't. That's the final barrier I cannot cross.
They'll just end up
Like,
in the laundry. It's fine. Yeah, they'll just get washed.
well, yeah, that's my other fear too. Is I will absolutely lose that shit. The fact that I haven't lost my little Raycon earbuds is like a testament to me every day. But these cost me $75, so like if I lose one of them, I'm not gonna be crushed. AirPods cost
Mhm.
almost 200. Like that's
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
car payment, you know.
Yeah. No, I get that.
Yep.
I just buy like cheap like by the checkout lane earbuds because I literally only use them for like my lunch break or whatever. Like that's all I
Mhm.
use them for, and I lost them, so I bought another case and I lost that one, and then I found the old one, and I'm like, what is happening? Like where'd the other ones go? But yeah, so
I used to be like, I'll just buy like cheap earphones, and
mhm,
I didn't have wireless earphones for the longest time, and then it got into that I moved to California, and one of my favorite activities to do when I'm stressed out is lay down on my yoga mat with my weighted blanket on top of me and get really stoned and listen to music and
okay,
just lay there and vibe.
okay.
Um, and I wanted better headphones, and then these at the gym when you are a woman say do not speak to me. These don't come off
Mhm.
easily, these aren't earbuds, don't come near me. And that's not, there aren't a
Mhm,
lot of creepy people at my gym. I
mhm.
just don't want anyone to talk to me at the gym.
Yep.
Like, no matter what your intentions, I just don't. I am here because I want to get through my workout and get out of here. And like, I am my
Mhm.
angriest in the gym.
Mhm.
Like,
I
just don't
like
come up to me.
I like the idea of like someone comes up to talk to you, not to be creepy or anything, and then you're like headphones.
Yeah, like
No,
it's such
back
a
off.
I don't know if it's a I grew up in New York thing where it's very much you don't talk to people in public in downstate New York.
Yeah.
Like you don't talk to strangers. That's not a thing.
Mhm.
Um, and then I moved to upstate New York and now here where it very much is a thing to talk to strangers and I don't know how to handle it. Like because I always assume that you're being weird or you're about to try and sell me Jesus. And like I just don't have time for that.
Those are one and the same. Those are one and the same. Being weird or silly Jesus. This is a different weird.
Yeah. Like literally the
Mhm.
other day I had to work out of a cafe by my office for a couple of hours because they were doing a video shoot like where my cubicle is.
Mhm.
And they were like, "You can be in it." I was like, "No," and left.
Deuces.
Um, and I went outside to just kind of like take a breather. Um, and I opened the door. There's a Jehovah's Witness display right outside.
Oh.
On my phone, I have a dispensary app opens. I was ordering pickup for me to go get after work. They came over. The guy looked down at my phone, looked up at me, and like just kind of turned around and walked away. I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm too far gone. I'm
Just
drinking caffeine and
lost cause.
like about to pick up weed. I'm too far gone for you guys. It's okay. Like,
You know what? I appreciate them not wasting their time.
yeah,
Yeah.
like
And your time.
nobody's time needs to be wasted here. It's just you don't want
Mhm.
me. I don't want you. It's okay.
Very, very observant. Just you know what? You just continue on with your day.
Yeah.
You don't need
So
this right now.
I got a little rant to go on. Like, I was in the store yesterday, and it's just one of those things. Like, you think it would be kind of common knowledge that when you're in a store, you're going down the grocery store. Treat it like a road. I stay on the right side, you stay on the right side. No, person just like I happen to be maybe like towards the center, but like they are walking like right next to me. So like I'm trying to kind of get over to like get something off the shelf. They just keep going. I'm like, all right, guess I'll just stop. And but it's like people just do not understand. Think that the grocery store is like the Wild West, and just do not pay any attention to who's around them. They just want to get what they want, and it's the most frustrating thing. Like, come on,
See,
it's not that hard.
my thing with that is for the smallest things, I don't think I'm confrontational. My wife disagrees. I am petty, okay? Like if someone
Yeah.
gets in my way, I will just get right in front of them and just not react to them at all. Like if they're in my
Mhm.
way and they have had several chances to get out of my way, I will get in front of them and just be like, what do I want on the shelf?" And I'll just stand there for way too long. And I will not move unless they try to like push through me or whatever. And I'm like, nope,
Mhm.
you're stuck here with me now. Like you did this. But that's just me.
Um, yeah, let me say, as somebody who worked in a supermarket, people are unhinged at supermarkets. Yes, this is partly because I worked in a supermarket at the beginning of COVID and like saw things like, whoa, talking about that period of time is like talking about the
Mhm.
war, like Jesus Christ. But
And
like
she can
people are,
watch that podcast where we talk about our retail horror stories.
oh, it's so bad.
Mhm.
Um,
It's just Gatorade. It's just Gatorade, dog.
but yeah, people are unhinged, and I treat the grocery store actually a lot like the gym. I want to be in and out of here as fast as physically fucking possible. I have my
Mhm.
list. I am on a mission. Don't talk to me. Don't touch me. Don't. I am also just a very paranoid person. I don't like when people get close to me in public because I'm like, what are you doing? What do you need? Like, what are you
Mhm.
so unaware about? Like that you are this close to me and have no idea.
Mhm.
This is also why I wear these headphones when I grocery shop.
Mhm. Yeah, I
Um,
have I have a pair of earbuds. Like cheap, like I think the brand is like JLab or something like that. They're like
mm.
15-20 bucks on Amazon. I literally just keep them in my car. So if I'm going like to the grocery store or something, I can just quick pop them in. And I actually only can wear one because the passive noise isolation is so good. Like I can barely hear anything. So
Mm.
like I literally have to have just one of them in just so I can hear what's going on around me.
15
I
bucks got your money's worth apparently. Sheesh.
Exactly. Like it's just that perfect shape where it just fills like the
Uh-huh.
ear, like the ear canal where it's like
Yeah,
there's just like nothing getting through it.
the amount of times I've literally just popped those in my ears and not played anything. The amount of
Oh
times
yeah.
I've done that just so I can get from point A to point B is too much. All
these have
right?
the awareness mode setting, which basically means like you can hear your music, but you can absolutely
Yeah.
hear everything happening around you. And I'll turn it on to that and leave music really low so I can hear what's happening, but like nobody thinks to talk to me. Um,
Hmm.
I'm
Yeah, these
also
fif-
just
The $15 ones don't have that. They're literally just
Yeah.
like they pair and they play sound.
Yeah. I also get into the same place as Austin where I won't stand in somebody's way because I'm too afraid of being confronted. It's not that I'm afraid of confrontation, I just don't want to receive it back.
Yep.
Like if somebody starts yelling at me, I'm like not gonna really know what to do with myself and I don't want to go there. But I just give people the nastiest fucking looks until they move. And like I will stare at people until they understand that they've done something to
Mhm.
bother me and get out of my way. And
I've
like
done that
I'll be
too.
fucking understanding. If you're old, I'll try to like make my way around you. But if you have
Mhm.
children and they are running fucking rampant in the store,
Yep.
I'm gonna hit one of them with my cart, and it's a lesson learned. Like I don't know what to tell you. Control your offspring. God damn.
I'm just Midwestern and like I'm just the person where we do a lot of things where if somebody's like where you I need to grab something, we'll like, oh yeah, this I'm just trying to like look, oh yeah, I need this thing and just kind of keep looking at act like
See,
I'm looking for something when I'm totally not. I'm just waiting for the person to move so I can grab what they're in front of.
Yeah.
See, when that happens for me, I always make a note of something I can get that isn't like 1 aisle over. So I'm
Mhm.
like, "Huh,
Come back
you're in my
around.
way? Well, the bread is 1 aisle over. I'm gonna go get the bread. I'll swing back around and grab that jar of pickles or whatever." And it works almost every time. It's a
Mhm.
surefire way.
I just
Then
hate the
there's just
grocery
those
store. I do
times.
anything and
Oh,
everything to get out of there as fast as
Sure.
physically possible. I don't give a shit
mm,
if I'm reaching over somebody to grab something.
As as someone who works at a retail store and has worked there for years, one of the big sales things that they're pushing is like we want people to get in now as fast as possible. Like they push that a lot. So like that's always on top of the top of priority list. So
yeah, the Walmart by me certainly makes sure of that by having like nothing in stock.
Good. I love
all right.
that.
All right. Are they
So it's
what
like you have no choice.
are you in a big city or
Kind of like on the outskirts of one.
okay. So like what we're talking population. If you don't want to out yourself too much, you don't
I,
have to.
I have no clue.
Okay, because sometimes people with stores with high population, they just have high theft, and like they, and then not only are things not getting stolen, I'm not saying people are stealing like eggs, but like that
Right.
just screws up the whole like what you get in.
Gotcha.
So,
I just think I have very poor timing and just go on days like right before they stock things.
oh well, what time of day do you go?
I mean, after work usually, but it's
Oh,
just
okay.
I'm just talking about the actual days though, like because there it seems it's just like all the time. I just go when like, hey, there's nothing here.
I just need bread. I just need bread. No.
So with the stealing, I
What a segue.
I am every so I love working for small businesses. So even when I was a teenager getting work, I like tried to work for local businesses because it's
Mhm.
just like more relaxed in its own it's a
Yeah.
monstrosity in its own way, but like it's a little more relaxed where I'm not reporting to corporate. Um but this grocery store that I worked at was a small like healthy-ish like holistic all, organic crap store. And for some reason, me and one other manager, when people stole, it infuriated us. And we would want to like chase them into the parking lot because I don't know why it made us so angry, but it made us so mad. And my boss didn't really care because he was like, realistically, like we're a small store, like people aren't. It's not like Walmart where people are going in and like shoplifting large amounts. Like it's like a $5 box of crackers, and I was like, I know, but it's that they don't need it. It's teenagers, and I hate it because that's what it was. We were near a high school, and so teenagers would come in there and steal
Mm,
shit, and it drove me insane. And we had this one woman who would return empty packages, and I had to explain to all of our like 15-year-old cashiers that if something feels too light, don't run it through as a return. Like I feel like I shouldn't have to explain this concept to you because she would like buy things and reseal them and then return them and say that they were moldy. And then when I would go to put them back on the shelves because they were unopened, I would realize it was light, open it, and they'd be fully empty. And like she did this to one of the managers like 4 times, and I was like, my guy. You have to be aware that these feel different in your hand. Like, hold a
mhm.
full one and hold an empty one. They have to feel different in your little hands. Like, come on.
Yeah, what people do at least my store, they just go grab something off the shelf and say, and then go to the return center and try to return it. And they're like, "Oh, I left the receipt or whatever," and they just try to get people that way. And
Jeez.
we had someone like fairly new to the return center area, and they got away with it for a little bit, but
We also had a
it's
list at
just
a
a
certain
constant.
point.
What
We had a list at a certain point, people we weren't
of
allowed to
people?
take returns from. Yeah.
Oh
I
wow.
was the one who really, my boss made it, but I was the one who updated it because
Mhm.
for some reason it really made me mad.
Did you have them by name or did you just call them like curly hair?
No, we had them by name because
Okay.
they would pay for other things with credit cards or like for a lot of them being teenagers,
Mhm.
we knew their parents.
See, these people
Um
were smart. They paid with cash, and they got cash always, and it
yeah.
was like, But then it doesn't matter. But yeah, if people don't want to trail, they just do cash, and it makes it harder.
What's my favorite thing is like I can't imagine people like how was on the phone with Jordan once while grocery shopping and went to the self checkout, scanned all of my items, and Jordan and I were talking about something and I wasn't paying attention, loaded all of those items in their bag into my cart and walked out without paying and realized it when I was 15 minutes away.
Oh
Nobody
geez.
caught me. And I pulled over to the side of the road, and for like 15 minutes, Jordan tried to convince me to just take it. And I felt too bad about it and got upset and turned around and went back as Jordan was trying to explain that it was absolutely the people at the grocery store's fault that this had happened. But like, I felt so fucking guilty that I had to turn. And I came
Mhm.
back in, and the guy was like, did you leave without paying for all of these? I was like, yeah, it's still up on the machine. I'm so sorry. I literally just didn't insert my card. And was like, no, I did everything. We're good. And like, I never take my receipt. I just left. And he was like, well, thanks for coming back. He was like, I'm surprised you did that. And Jordan was like, see, you shouldn't have fucking come back. You should have just taken it. That's what they expected.
Not quite to that extent, but like I was at the self checkout and I think I had a gallon of milk like down like in the lower portion, like kind of like got that back there. Completely
Yeah.
forgot about it. Scanned all my groceries and put everything back in. Got to my car. I'm like, I never picked the milk up and scanned it. So it's like I just got it for a gallon of milk.
Did
Well,
you
you
go
know, when it's
through?
one thing, I'm like, whatever.
Right.
Like, if
Yeah.
something falls to the bottom of my reusable bags and I don't see it, I'm like, this is fine.
Did you use the self checkouts, Alec?
Yeah.
Was there like an attendant there?
Pretty sure.
Okay, yeah, that's technically on them. They call it Bob and Lisa, which is like bottom of basket and look inside always or something like that.
Mhm.
My new job is asset protection. If this seems like I'm
Gotcha.
talking out of my
Fun.
ass right now, so like, yeah, my new job that I got a promotion, I get paid more now. But I just
Nice.
I took that
Congratulations.
because it was more money. But I'm just learning a bunch of stuff about like
Mhm.
anti-theft and all that stuff. So
No, it's fine. I'm just a rabid dog, apparently. And, like, it just really infuriates me.
what I'm telling Alec is that technically that was on the attendant because they're supposed to be trained to like look for those things. So those are commonly missed things.
I think this is where you have pinned why it made me so mad is I think to me somewhere deep in my brain, to no one else, just to myself, I felt like they had pulled one over on me by getting outside the door with something they stole, and that made me mad. Like the fact that it could be looked at as my fault really pissed me off. And so I want to like chase these kids down. We were next to a dance studio, and that was a bad place to be.
Wait, so this organic
a little
shop was
plaza,
by a
yeah.
high school and a dance studio? What else?
Yeah.
What was down the street? The prison? Like I don't know.
Honestly,
I don't
yeah.
know.
Actually, the prison was only like
No.
Fishkill Correctional Department prison is actually only like 15 minutes away from Nature's Bay.
Where is this at?
It's
Is
Fishkill,
the
New York.
zoo the other direction by 50 feet? The freaking
Like
zoo?
it's yeah.
Oh, that's
Fishkill, New
that's
York's
Crazy
adorable.
Lenny's shack over there in the back corner.
But yeah, it was like a big plaza, and on one side was like
He sounds
Ocean City Job Lot, whatever it's called. I don't know if they have those where you guys are. I realize as I say this out loud, but it's like a big. It's kind of like a. It's kind of like a K-lot, Kmart, that kind of thing.
Oh,
They
yeah.
sell like outdoor shit and other weird like cleaning supplies and like random food that I don't really trust where it came from, like those kind of stores.
Like a Fleet Farm. You probably have never heard of that. I have a Fleet Farm. You have Fleet Farm over there, Alec?
Mm-mm.
No? Okay.
But so it was that, and then a bunch of like little like privately. There was a pizza place, a stationery store for some fucking reason, like convenient. But like it was called Jerrick's, and they sold like birthday cards and balloons and like office goods, but also like these weird little like tchotchke stuff. It's a very strange place.
So almost like a Hallmark store.
Yeah. Honestly, just kind of like a rip-off Hallmark store.
We're like Hallmark, but worse.
Yeah. And then yeah, and there was a pizza place and like another little food place, like a really shitty sushi place, a dance studio,
Oh,
and then this supermarket.
then the prison.
Um,
Don't forget
and
about
then
the
down
prison.
the road is the prison. And up the road, like around the corner, was the big high school that all of these dance girls were from, and I hated every single one of them. I don't even give a shit if you're listening because I knew some of their names. But it's just like that was the beginning of me working at that grocery store. Was the beginning of me being like, I don't like teenagers. I don't enjoy teenagers.
How old were you when you were working there?
21. I
I was gonna
like
say
just graduated
you're
college.
you're barely not a teenager. Shut the hell up.
Yeah, like it was immediate. There and working at a Cold Stone Creamery for 5 years is why I'm like 99% sure I don't want kids. Children just infuriate me. Everything
See,
about them makes me mad.
See, one, I know my wife really wants kids, so I'm not gonna like take that from her. I'm okay with having kids. I was
Yeah.
always like, like it could be a no, it could be a yes. It was never like a surefire one way or the other for me. But I also was under the like impression like I don't want to rush that at all. Like I've never had any kind of like inclination to have kids. Like I was never pushed to do that. And then I kind of became an uncle because I moved in with my aunt and uncle when I was 16, and my cousin, their daughter, had a baby around that time. So I was essentially like this child's uncle because I was just there all the time, and I became attached to Annika, so I consider her my niece, and she's like I don't even know how old she is now, maybe 8. But like I have never felt so protective and so feral for a child before Annika, who is like
Oh,
not my niece, but like she's my niece. Like I will murder. I'm not exaggerating. If someone hurts Annika, I will murder them. I will
oh,
genuinely go to prison.
my sister
One
twin
down the street from
girls.
the high school.
Yes, my nieces. I would not only die for them but murder for them. However, they are also what convinced me I don't want children.
Yeah,
And
there's a
the one
fine
thing
line there. I agree.
I love them so much, but when I was home for Christmas, my sister could not sit down and have a conversation, could not talk to me or my mother, people she had not seen for months, for 2 minutes before someone would be like, Mom! And it drove me insane. And I wasn't even the one they wanted. And I looked at my parents, I was like, I shouldn't have kids. Like, I'm not somebody who should be raising children. I can't do it. And they were like, well, you came to that conclusion. Like, it's fine.
Mhm. I had
Like,
a I had a dream where I cannot explain. I used to like study dreams. Like I thought dreams were really interesting, and I like to go into the meanings of what it doesn't matter. But like it was a dream where I was like looking after Annika, and this like feral, massive looking dog came around the corner and just like attacked Annika. And I have never been like aggressive or like a fight or flight fight version of that in a dream, but I decimated this dog. This dog was no longer anything but dust, and I woke up and I was just like still angry, and I was just like feral. It was weird. I don't know how to explain it, but like apparently in my dream I was like, "You ain't getting Annika, you son of a bitch!" Like it ain't happening. Yeah, I don't know how to explain that, but
um, my final question to wrap up this podcast. Did you guys have animal dreams as
we
kids?
can't
Like
end with that.
terrifying?
Do something else.
Did you guys have like terrifying animal dreams as kids? Because like my
Um,
sister had a reoccurring dream about being like attacked by bears, and we both had reoccurring dreams about being attacked by dogs. Mine were not as violent as hers, but hers were pretty bad.
I had a
Um,
reoccurring dream about being stuck in an axe murder house.
Good.
Mhm.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm
I don't have that anymore, but when I was a teenager,
mhm,
it would happen.
Mine was, those blinds that you pull down, like they're like a roll, they roll up and like so you pull down on them to go up.
mhm.
The noise they make when they snap up sometimes because the spring gets triggered scares the shit out of me to this day. As a child, I used to have a recurring nightmare that there was a thunderstorm happening and the shade shoots up and there was just a man outside my window
Hmm,
that I could like describe to a sketch artist. And like still, I've had this nightmare so many times.
mhm.
And like I love why I asked this was I love weird kid dreams like this. Like what
I
was going
explained
on in
that.
your head that you were like axe murder?
Mm.
I don't know. Apparently,
See,
because okay, there's some weird. Alec, I'll let you go in 2 seconds. I
yeah,
promise.
yeah.
Apparently, there's a thing about if it takes place in a house, then it's that
Compartmentalized.
Thank you. Could not get there.
We got it.
It's like certain parts of your brain, like each room is significant and signifies a different part of your brain and like how that processes. So if you go from one room to the next and it's supposed to be drastically different and that's supposed to be like a meaning for something, I don't know. I used to like genuinely go into like deep into dreams. And apparently if you're a female and you have dreams about losing teeth and something to do with your children, it means something about having a kid is like troubling you. Not that you want a kid, not that you had a miscarriage or some crazy thing like that, but like something about like raising a little one is like fucking with your psyche right now. That's apparently something about losing teeth does. I don't know.
Losing
Those are just
teeth
things I've
dreams are
studied.
super common, and I always feel left out because I've never had one.
Well, then you are just surefire not having kids. Like, I don't know how else to tell you. But
No, it's
Alex,
fine. It's fair. So I'm
Alex, go
sorry.
ahead.
Did I wake you from your slumber? Jesus.
See, for me, I've always been one of those people that I just never remember my dreams. So it's like,
It's
That's
definitely
sad.
less as I've gotten older.
But is it like immediately when you wake up you remember it? Like for like the first like 5 or 10
No.
minutes?
not at
Oh,
all.
really?
Yeah.
Because me, if I used to have a dream journal, and the only reason I had a dream journal is because I knew I would forget it. So I wanted to write it down as quickly as
Oh, yeah.
possible,
Nope.
like
I just
memory
wouldn't even
wise.
remember.
But you've heard this, right? Like as soon
Oh,
as you have a
yeah,
dream,
yeah,
and then I the way I rationalize that, this is with no science to back that up. It's because your brain doesn't have that as an actual memory because it didn't actually happen.
Mhm.
So like your brain just kind of shoves that information out because it's like this isn't important. That's essentially like like
Yeah.
when you die, your brain like your life flashes before you. Apparently that's your brain searching your memories for like a way to get out of this situation, but you've never experienced death before, so it just keeps searching until you pass away. Like I don't know, but yeah, it's something linked to that in my opinion.
I'll leave you on a fun thing here. This is absolutely
Yeah.
true, and you can look this up that this is a thing that happens to people. I do not see images when I dream at all.
You just see colors.
No, it's just I don't see anything. It's literally just I am aware of. It's almost as if you were listening to an audiobook. Is the best way I can describe it. Like I know what's happening and I'm having the emotional reactions to it, and it's like a story is playing out in my head or whatever, but I don't I only get images when I have nightmares.
I was gonna say, how does that play into your window man one? Window man.
I remember my nightmares very clearly. It's not a fun time for me.
So when you start dreaming and you actually see images, are you just like, get me the fuck out of here because this can't be good?
Yes, because it is also usually I am lucid dreaming, and I know that we're like 2 steps away from sleep paralysis at that point, and I don't want to be there, so I just want to wake up.
Have you been there before? Because it's terrifying.
Once. I have had sleep paralysis once in my life. It was when my insomnia was at its worst when I was in college, and it was awful. I didn't see shit, but I felt like I was dying.
Mm-hmm.
It also increased my fear of waking up during surgery. That was my biggest takeaway from my sleep paralysis experience.
Yeah, sleep paralysis is no joke. Like I only happened to me a few times, and usually it was only for like a few minutes, and then I could fall asleep again. But there was one instance where like I was just convinced like I was in like limbo. Like I don't know how else to explain it. Like it was just like my bed was there and nothing else. It was just like black sludgy existence. I don't know how to explain it.
Oh no, I will absolutely say that the only reason that didn't become like a disaster zone time for me while I waited for it to fall off was that I was in school for theater at the time, which meant half of my coursework was like insane relaxation breath work. So I just started doing that until I like came, because there's a whole fucking one day I'll do a podcast talking about going to school for theater because it's a wild time. But
Sure.
there's an acting theory that involves a thing called chair that can put you into like trance things to deal with your emotions. I don't really believe in it, but whatever. Sorry, Maria. But there's like relaxation breathing you have to do with it so you don't cause yourself to have a panic attack while you're doing it. I was like, this can't hurt, and it's the only thing I can do is sit here and not panic. It's a bad time.
Yeah. Sleep paralysis is no joke.
Well, if you want a good time, you should check out This Is the Waypoint on the Mandalorian finale, or our reaction to the Street Fighter 6 showcase. And until next time.
Finale this week.
Yes,
oh my god, wait, this comes out at the end of the... I'm such a dumb bitch. I'm so sorry. I'm such a dumb bitch.
All right, see you guys next time.